And hey folks, me again, back again with another video today. I'm going to react to Retro Cam, so I hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok and Discord, and let's begin.
Hey guys, Little Jesus here, and today we are going to take a look at something called the Retro Champ by My Arcade. I originally saw a prototype of this at E3 last year, and I was intrigued enough at the time to want to do a review of it, so My Arcade sent me the retail version of it here. So if you're not familiar with this device, it is a Switch-like device for your NES and Famicom cartridges. So
if you're a fan of that stuff, buy it.
And you can play those cartridges either in handheld mode or on your HD television. There's a lot going on in this thing. There's some surprises for sure, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler alert here, and that is I'm not exactly in love with this thing because a couple things had me just wondering, why the heck did they do that?
To keep their classic fans happy for once. The real players who are more solitaire gamers.
Alright, so let's go over the specs of this thing. So first of all, I mentioned that it does play original NES and Famicom cartridges, and
yes, if you're a fan of the cartridge games, you'll love that. Retro Champ.
And the Famicom cartridges go in the bottom.
The bottom,
and,
okay.
Try to keep that in mind because that becomes a bit of a problem later. It also has a built-in 4,000 milliamp rechargeable battery that will last you anywhere from 3 to 5 hours depending on the game that you're playing. As you can see here, it's a 7-inch backlit LCD screen with multiple aspect ratios. There's a little button on top where you can toggle that. And as I mentioned, it's designed to be very Switch-like, and then you can play it on the go, or there's a little kickstand.
If you're a fan of the Switch, you'll love that.
And easily set it on the table. And
you'll love the Retro Champ.
It's compatible with these
classic, yes.
that they sent along with this. So again, very Switch-like, and then you can have it on your table, connect it to your HD television, and use external controllers, up to 2 of them. So that's a pretty cool feature. And then check this out. This is actually what they showed me at E3 that I thought was pretty cool, pretty hilarious. So it has a built-in cartridge cleaning kit that is hidden away on the corner here. So it's really weird. Like, you push this button and this little plastic piece comes out, and then you can literally just pull off the top, and then there's some Q-tips in there, as well as this little vial that you can put, some cleaning solution in. So I thought that was pretty brilliant because, as you guys know, you often have to clean your cartridges, and having that built into the device, well, that can be pretty handy. And then the retail price of this is $80. And so that all sounds great. I mean, that's the reason why I was originally intrigued by this, because you could potentially play hundreds, if not thousands, of physical games, and it would give you a lot of flexibility in doing so. However, when I started messing around with it and also shared it with some friends and let them play around with it, yeah, it's not good. So the first thing that I noticed is that
this guy may not like it, but I
just
will.
Doesn't look that great at all. I mean, actually so much so that I was a little surprised and actually reached out to My Arcade to kind of get a little bit of a feel of what they're going for here, because it looks, honestly, it looks like crap. I mean, it looks like just a composite.
Don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I still recommend
upscaling in any way.
his channel, by the way.
What confused me was when you first turn it on, you get their logo, and you can see that's very high resolution. So I know that the screen actually can do high resolution graphics, and I was kind of surprised. And basically, what they said is that in order to keep the cost down, they decided to not upscale it in any way, and basically just output the original low-res composite video to the screen. So I don't know. I mean, I just don't think it looks good at all. Now, what's interesting about that is I let some friends play around with it as well, and while they acknowledge that it doesn't look great, or at least crisp, it didn't actually bother them as much because the screen is so small, and you do have it kind of, away from your face so much. So for them, it was kind of like, yeah, it's not terrible. So, maybe your mileage would vary. And to be quite honest, I was like, okay, I can live with this as long as the HDMI out looks good. And so I plugged in the HDMI cable, and, well, you can see the results here. It looks terrible. It's washed out.
What? It's perfect.
Not crispy or defined at all. Sometimes the colors seem a little bit off. And again, that's a real disappointment, because if you compare it to something like, say, the NES Mini, So I'll put those side by side. Now I know it's not apples to oranges here, or apples to apples, whatever that that phrase is. But I know it's not completely equal because obviously the NES Mini is running.
It's called Hold the
ROMs,
Pastels,
cartridges,
princess.
but I'm just showing you as consumer comparing devices. The NES Mini, I think, looks way better. And again, I would be
I
a
still
little more
recommend
tolerant of
the
handheld
NES
mode and
Mini.
its low-res visuals. If at least when you connected it to your TV, it looked as good as the Mini. I don't know, maybe that's asking too much. Another thing I noticed is that the aspect ratio seems to be cutting off the edge in some games when you're in 4x3. So you check this game out here. This is a Konami racing game called Road Fighter. It's actually a Famicom
Yes, the same
game.
company that
And
makes
if you look
Castlevania,
on
by the
the
by.
right-hand side there, you'll see that the numbers and letters are kind of cut off right there. Now, to fix that, you can push the button to switch to 16:9, but that ain't good.
16
The other
by 9
thing,
sounds
and
good by
Reggie
me.
noticed this immediately, is that the sound is kind of off too.
And I just noticed that some of the music kind of sounds like the speakers kind of sound off a bit.
Speakers sound off a bit.
Some people will probably notice that.
Just gotta get used to it.
So yeah, the sound and the visuals aren't great, and also too, everyone who played this thing was like, the controls aren't great either. I mean,
The
nobody
controls
loved
aren't-
that D-pad. It
aren't
seemed like it
great.
was very shallow and not exactly what you would be expecting. As a matter of fact,
What the
when you
fuck
compare
ever
it
gets
to
to
the external controller that they included with this, that wireless controller actually has a much better D-pad, but the one that's on the Retro Champ is really, it's really flush. It's not very
Ooh,
good at all. It
flush.
doesn't feel, I mean, it's playable, but it doesn't feel great. And also too, the ergonomics of the device. You're holding onto this thing that's kind of like a really thick tablet. And so, again, it's playable, and I captured all the footage here, but everyone kind of complained about it. They were like, it's just very bulky and doesn't feel great.
It's still a
Another
good
thing
game.
that I wasn't
Still a good
crazy
gaming
about
console.
is, and you can see it here, is that there is a bit of a death grip on your NES cartridges, and you see me struggling with it here. That,
Come on, can't get your
that's
dick out
not
of there.
good, especially if you've got some, valuable or rare games. You're going to be kind of reluctant to put it in here because it can be kind of hard to get it out. Now, I do think that it's pretty cool that it plays Famicom cartridges. And
It's
I
called
have
working
a
out and
bunch of
being a
them,
man for
but
once.
This is
Be a real
hilarious.
man.
So I asked Reggie to
Be a
try to pull
macho,
out the Famicom
macho
cartridge, because as you see
man.
here, it's pretty flush with the bottom, right? They had to do that because if you have it with the kickstand and sitting on a table, obviously it can't stick out.
That's gonna be like weird, like pull up games out of here.
Put it in there again.
Okay.
Their solution was to use this little plastic push device. Pick up that. And that's what you use from the top.
Really?
No, from the top. So flip it over.
Nah. You serious? You really? You just serious? Okay, that's too much. Nah.
You hipsters may not like it, but I love it.
So, I know, Reggie just thought this was hilarious, and everyone who saw it is hilarious because, again, this is a portable device. You're going to be on the bus, and you're going to have this big, thick
Unless
tablet
you're in
thing, and
Portland.
If you want to change, from a Famicom cartridge to an NES cartridge, you got to whip out of your bag.
Not many
like
people
this
ride the
device
bus these
that pushes
days.
through. Now, to be fair, you
It's
don't
all about
actually have to use
calling
that device.
Ubers
You can
these
take
days.
another NES cartridge and push it through the front to shove the Famicom cartridge out the back.
If I had that
But
kind of money, I'll buy that
it's
for
such
$1.
clunky solution. I mean, it really needed to have some sort of lever or some sort of button, some other way of dealing with this. I'm just not a fan at all. And again, it's
Oh.
laughable. And so I beat him on this thing, and rightfully so. But maybe you're wondering, is there anything I do like about it? And the answer to that is yes. I mean, I do think that it has a pretty decent build quality. Like, it doesn't feel that cheap, even though I know it is. But it's
If I had
seems like it's
$100
put
I would
together
buy
very
it.
Well, it's got a nice weight to it. It's not too much, but it's not too light either. I really do like the fact that it has a cleaning kit built into it.
Lets you clean
I
the
think that's
cartridges,
pretty
by the
clever
by.
use of the extra
So
space
that's a
they
good
had
step
for this
up.
device. And I do really like a device
Dishonored
that plays
2
physical
is
media.
okay.
I mean, there are
It still sucks
tons
ass.
of games that you can play on this, and the fact that it tries to be Switch-like in that you can play it
Yeah.
in handheld, but you can also put it on your table, use external controllers, and output to your HD television. That's all
Growing
great
up, I used to
stuff.
play
I
games
love
like
that idea.
Frogger and
And
Pac-Man.
it's $80, which I think is
Now
a
those
good
were my
price
shit
for this.
growing up.
You know, especially if it had better visuals
And my mother
better
made the
audio.
correct choice.
But the thing for me with these sort of devices is, from a consumer point of view, I wouldn't mind if
Sure,
you
I still had
charged
the PS1 and
$5,
2
$10, or $20 more
and everything.
to just have a better quality experience and a better quality device. You know what
I
mean?
never really
If
got into games like
$80
Diablo
was their
and
target and they had to hit
the first
that,
Diablo
and the only
game.
way to do it
I
was
never actually really
with
play
this
it.
type of emulation.
If I had like a little
For $100, we're gonna have a device that
game
is
console
way better
organizer
output, way better
or
visuals,
shelf, you
way
know what I
better
mean?
Audio, things like that. And then recently,
Where I could keep all my
arcade
consoles
is
organized,
gonna
but
do a
just don't
version
have the
of
money.
Champ,
Need
but
to
it'll
spend
be
it
a
all.
Super Nintendo /
Rent's gotta be
Genesis
paid,
Mega
man.
Drive. And then my hope is they take the feedback from reviewers like me to improve that product and make it the best it can be, because obviously there's a lot of fans like me that would love.
Anyway, folks, hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe, follow me on Amino on TikTok and Discord. God bless y'all, and I'll see you next video.